welcome back to the GamerTime podcast. We've done it twice now in a row. This is the third one. I'm impressed. I think you should be as well. This week I'm joined by Harrison. Say hello.
Hello.
And by Mike. Say hello.
Hello.
I nearly called you Gav then. I'm sorry.
Please don't call me Gav. I'm not Scottish and angry. I mean, I'm angry. But I'm not Scottish.
That's true. You guys had a good week.
Yes, been alright, mate.
Oh, good.
Lots of work, lots of games.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm at the point in my life now where I get my day off. I'm like, right, I'm going to be productive. And then I wake up and I'm like, I actually have nothing to do. Fuck it, let's go on the Xbox.
Yeah, it sounds
I'll
alright.
sit on the Xbox for 12 hours and go to bed.
Nice.
So, good gaming week, actually.
That is good. Yeah, some good stuff.
What about you, Harrison? You good?
Yeah, it's been a good week for me. My parents are out in Prague, actually, so I've just had the house to myself, just gaming and chilling out, so it's been good.
I remember those days. Parents were away. Now, trust me, when you get a house on your own, it's kind of like, well, I've always got the house to myself. And then you're bored because there's no one to talk to.
Yeah. You just wander around naked all the time.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
So, yeah.
Just in your slipper socks when it's cold.
Oh
as well.
yeah. Put your underwear in the oven for a bit, nice and toasty.
Yeah.
Make them toasty.
Microwave
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really good. Yeah. Anyway,
Way to start the podcast on such a low note.
let's talk about some games.
Anyone listening, it can only go up from here.
Let's talk about some games. Harrison, you've been playing the new Total War expansion thing for the Warhammer one.
Yeah,
Fill me in.
Total War sort of had a lot of free expansions. It's had the Woozering expansion, which is literally like a dancing orc, and he's a shaman, so he has quite a lot of magical abilities, and he starts off in quite a good area of the map where it's sort of, if you're a new beginner or you're a new player, it's sort of, there's not a lot of enemies in that area.
Yeah.
You also get Vlad von Carstein, who's like a melee sort of powerhouse, sort of like Manfred, but has more spells and is just really hard hitting.
Cool. I'm gonna stop you there just for a second. Can you just explain Total War Warhammer to people who have no idea?
So yeah, just whilst I'm here, so it's Total War, but Warhammer.
Yeah. It's a bit.
So it's like Rome, except instead of focusing on history, they're focusing on little models.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. I'm with you now.
I still think they should have called it Total Warhammer, but
Yeah, how have they not done that actually?
there was a game in last gen, wasn't there, that had a name like that was had like war in it twice or something. Oh, it was like
It's like they've sat down in the PR room though, and they've just gone, "What should we call it?" It was like one guy's like, "Total Warhammer." And I'm like,
no.
What are you on about? It's Total War, Warhammer.
Yeah, just doesn't.
And then everyone agrees. And
Doesn't
that
flow
poor,
as well.
that poor PR genius in the corner gets.
Anyway,
Sorry.
derailing you, Harrison. Tell us what it is. I've played Total War games, but I've not played the Warhammer one. / know nothing about Warhammer. So fill me in.
Yeah, it's sort of like, imagine like Civilization 6, where you sort of have the religions and you have like the different army units, where you can group together with a friend and you actually try and conquer like different areas. So in this one, what I think is unique about it is you have these sort of legendary lords, which are these buffed leader type units that act as sort of your generals, also like Civilization 6. You basically go around and just fight wars with everybody. There's different factions to choose from, so you can be like a blood-sucking vampire, or you can be sort of an empire sort of general. You can be like an orc. So there's a lot of different variations on that. And
Cool.
the good thing is they're also adding a lot of like free DLC, like I said, as well as paid DLC, which I think is always a good like policy to keep the game lifespan like a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, I think it is good to have free. Don't see enough free DLC. I played a game.
I can only think of one other game I know that's all free DLC. That's it.
I played Fear the Awakening earlier this year, and that has all free DLC, and it's very good. It's like a sort of story-driven 4X game, so it's a bit Civilization-y and a bit kind of like choose your own adventure at times. It's interesting.
Oh, cool.
A nice little game. Yeah, that's about all I have to say on it, really. Go back
So
to
Harrison,
what you were
where
saying.
Yeah, so quick question. Where does it rank? Obviously, I'm assuming you're a Total War game fan anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, besides the Warhammer kind of skin difference, is there any main differences in the game in comparison to others, or does it pretty much play the same?
I mean, there's certainly elements that are the same, like with the religion system is sort of similar to the diplomacy system with other types, like in that genre. But what I think is unique about it is if like you're a fan of Warhammer in general, it brings those favorite units you appreciated in the tabletop to like a realistic setting. So you'll have like massive orc armies versing against each other. Or I think what's also good about it is you have like different tactics you can use. So similar to Total War, you might want to go in with your cavalry to try and get them from the flank, while you also launch arrows from the front. So you have different units that can sort of do different functions, and they play differently as well, the different factions.
Always good when stuff like that plays differently.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
there's
heard
many games where there's something, and no matter what character or kind of, I don't know, like artillery unit you pick or something, they all play the same. Kind of like Command and Conquer.
Yeah, it's
In the
nice to
sense
have that sort
the
of...
range has no effect. They have the range things, but all the damage is all the same as it was if it was a machine gun.
It's that sort of asynchronous, isn't it, gameplay? So
Yeah.
they're all doing different things, which is cool. I have a question. Where does it rank in sort of the order of Total War games? Basically, is it as good as Shogun 2?
Yeah, I think I didn't play a lot of Shogun 2, to be fair. I played like a bit of a demo of it, but I didn't really get into a lot of depth with it. I think Total War at the moment, I've got 25 hours, 26 hours on it at the moment. So I think, yeah, it's definitely up there in the Total Wars. I still think from reviews and from what I've read, Shogun would probably be superior, like due to the mechanics.
Yeah,
but
there's
I think, yeah.
there's no naval combat, is there, in this one that should have taken out? Have I imagined that?
No, you're right. There's no naval combat, which is
I
a bit disappointing. Yeah.
Well, sort of. I've never really got on with the naval combat. I always find it a bit chonky and a bit shit compared to the rest of it. So I kind of prefer that because I'm always like, I've got to make a fleet, and I hate doing the RTS battles of the fleet, and then I do them on auto, and everything dies, and it's a nightmare. I find that
that famous everything on auto. Auto just means give up.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna win, like 80% in favor, and then it's like decisive defeat, and you're like, how?
Civ 5 was a lot like that. Like certain things on Civ, you're just like, I can't be asked for a couple of turns. I'll just let it do its own thing. And then you look up, and all of a sudden you've lost every single city you've ever had, and they've demolished it in about 3 turns.
Yeah, it's just like,
Maybe
what
I
did
should
you
have built some
do,
more
AI? How are you so bad at the game? I hear that the sieges are really good though in Warhammer, because they're always used to be kind of a bit basic. You used to have like a similar sort of like citadel that you'd defend, and they'd always sort of play out in a similar way. In Warhammer, from the bits that I've seen, you probably go into like a city and you go through streets and stuff, which looks interesting. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, sieges, they sort of work similar to other sort of siege-based systems, but there's a bit of uniqueness to it as well. Sort of like you said, basically you'll sort of in siege a city, and then you'll set up sort of siege towers. So if you're tactical, what you can do, when I was playing the Battle of Prague actually the other day, I set my Hell Cannon up at range and just bombarded them with these massive waves of fire until all their walls were sort of destroyed, and then sent in the siege towers to breach their archer units on the wall. And then obviously to capture the city, you can either just destroy everything, or in the center of the city, usually through all these streets, there'll be like a square area where if you get the majority of units in it, you sort of capture the city, sort of like a capital within the city itself.
Cool. Yeah, because I think it's one of the hardest things for them to kind of replicate. And I always thought, well, from the bits that I'd seen, like videos and stuff, it kind of reminds me more of like that, like the scenes in like the Lord of the Rings where like they're attacking Helm's Deep, that sort of like grandiose scale. Whereas in previous ones, it's not kind of felt quite as epic as like a proper clash between two armies.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just my.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think this one definitely brings in this epicness and the scale that maybe was missing with the other ones. I mean, when I was having the battle against Prague, it was like halfway through, I wasn't quite sure that I was actually able to capture it because half my forces had been depleted on the siege. So it was sort of like that last stand. can we actually do it, sort of thing.
Cool.
Speaking of Helm's Deep, what was that Lord of the Rings game that was very similar?
The RTS one.
Does anyone know of it? Was it? I'm not sure it was RTS, or it was just kind of like it was similar in the sense of building your armies and stuff like that.
There was an RTS one. Was it like something of Middle Earth? It was called.
Yeah,
Battle of
Battle-
Middle Earth,
yeah,
maybe, or
there we
something. I
are.
think rings a
Yeah.
bell.
Those sort of games, when the turn-based thing kind of bores me after a while. Because I really like Civ. I've really got into.
Mm.
And the Lord of the Rings one, it was cool because massive lover of the films. I could just sit there and build as many armies as physically possible, and then just charge at every single thing possible, and then start all over again. Which is kind of that's my part of the fun in those games. It's kind of like the fighting bit.
Yeah, I think that's why I like
the whole.
the Total War games so much. Is just because they have both bits. Like sometimes instead I get a bit bored of just like the turn-based stuff, where it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
I just want to like
turn-based
something
kind
to
of
just
fun, especially
happen.
if you're playing a big game and there's so much.
Yeah, and then in that I'm like, oh, I could just do a fight, and I'm probably gonna win it anyway, even if I just do it on auto, quite decisively. But it's just a bit of extra, like, hone your tactics a bit and like just see how it goes. So it's just a bit more interesting. I'm surprised there's not
definitely
more.
makes the game a little more fun.
It does. I'm just surprised there's not more like similar games to come out, because we've had like Civ, like clones is a bad word, but like Civ styled games. But we've not had many sort of Total War style games. I can only think of one, which was the King Arthur ones, which I didn't really get on with very well. But I can't think of any other ones that are in that same sort of like you have like an overworld map and then you do RTS battles in the middle. Unless you guys can.
XCOM
No,
2,
not for me.
maybe? Similar?
But that's still turn-based. All of it's turn-based.
Yeah, as in
Not-
like the
not the same.
world map sort of thing, though. As in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you go from, like place to place is similar.
Yeah, yeah. I meant specifically like a turn-based overworld, like a turn-based strategic lair, and then like the
There's got to be loads of strat games though.
there must be
We just
something.
probably haven't played them.
Yeah,
True.
probably.
Ones that are just fully strat rather than.
George knows some people who play strategy games. I'll have to see if he can get me in the know.
Hey, it should be on next week, shouldn't he?
Yeah, or I can just pester him until he tells me.
Just tell me all of them.
Yes, right. So, anything else from Total War? The new expansion. What did it actually do? Because we kind of got off track. What does it add? It adds some more legendary heroes. Did you say that you can recruit?
Yeah, it adds some new legendary heroes. So you have obviously Vlad von Carstein and Wuthering is free, and then the Grim in the Grave you have Hermann Gost, who is really good. If when you face an army and they survive, like somehow they have like a few units left.
Oh
and
yeah,
and you have to run them down.
yeah.
Well, what Hermann Gost does is he gets, I think it's like 40% replenishment each turn. So you can just literally go in, just kill all the retreating armies. So, I mean,
right.
I like that about him. He's a really good character to use for that.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice thing about that one, is that it has those sort of like those legendary heroes that, because the generals are always a bit fragile in every other Total War game. Like you try and keep them out of the combat as much as possible. You maybe run them in to do like a rally or an inspire, and then just get the hell out of there again before they just die. It's quite nice that you have like these like super powered characters that can go in and just like decimate things. Because I've seen the one that's like goes in on like a dragon or something. There's one that goes in on like a griffin, so they look very cool.
Yeah, I think that's, what's his name? Yeah, he's the Empire guy that has a massive griffin that can just land in and just like literally wipe out, I think, like a whole group of spearmen or swordsmen like at a time. So he's really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's the whole magic
I think
system.
anyone flying in a griffin is going to be super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think it could be like Milli Vanilli, and I still think it looks sick.
Because the whole magic system as well, isn't there, actually, in this one?
Yeah, so the magic system, each race sort of has its own different magic tree as well. Like, it's sort of unique in that way. So you'll have orcs, which will have, like, basically this giant ghostly foot that can come down and crush people. You have the vampires, you can, like, control death magic, heal units, resurrect. And then obviously you have the other types of magic, like metal and stuff like that, which deplete enemies over time. So they all have, like, different effects, so they're not like repaste of different things. They're all unique in their own way, which is really cool as well.
That's cool. Interesting. I keep meaning to like pick it up. I think I'm gonna keep an eye on it on like Steam sales and stuff because I'm a big fan of Total War games and I don't
It's
actually.
Black Friday soon.
What? Sorry, mate.
Black Friday soon. You'll get all your sales
Oh
then.
yes, I forget that that's like a thing now. That's a good point.
Especially on Steam. They're going to go mental, I think.
Yeah, I just find it a weird thing. That it's like a made-up American holiday that's invaded the rest of the world.
I'm kind of glad it's made its way here, because it's not often America gets something really cool, and then we get it as well.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. But yeah, still a bit like I always see people on like somewhere, some of my friends or something going, "Just bought a new TV. It only cost me like 300 quid." And I'm just like, "Yeah, but you only bought a new one a couple of years ago. you wouldn't have spent the 300 quid if you didn't think you were getting a deal. You've not won in this equation. You've been conned out of 300 quid."
On the telly isn't that impressive anymore.
No, or something
That's
like
all
that.
it used to be.
You always say it. You're always like, "But you've just been tricked. You've not
Yeah,
got."
it was actually like 250 a month ago.
Yeah,
They upped the price just so they can reduce it again.
pretty much.
Because that's how they do it, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There was a
So
study.
it's got to
done.
be, like over here especially, it's got to be at the previous price for 28 days before you can call it a sale.
Yeah,
So you'll notice one telly will be, say, £400 1 month. And then the next month it'll be 350. And then before Black Friday, they put it back up to 400. So then you can get it back at the price it was 2 months ago.
yeah. Well, I went to Morrison's the other day, and Morrison's had Daz Black Friday deal. I was like, "What is going on? getting your washing stuff."
Is it the washing powder?
Yeah,
Daz?
the washing powder on Black Friday deals.
To be fair, it's one of
surreal.
those things that's stupidly expensive.
It's surreal, is
So
that?
that's where I'm going Black Friday then. Go to the supermarket.
Yeah,
and
go
get
to the supermarket.
as much washing up powder as I possibly can.
Just like, what's going on here? This is like the weirdest thing. Big letters, get your Daz Black Friday deal.
I'm looking forward to Black Friday because I haven't done any Christmas shopping yet.
Yeah, that's good. That's the only
So
real.
There's going to be
benefit of it.
certain objects which I can't say out loud, just in case the missus listens to the podcast, that I'll that I'm going to be getting like, on Amazon when a deal hits.
Yeah, no, always.
Because they do their kind of hourly flash sales, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They're worth
So you
keeping
can
an eye
find out the time for what it is, and then
Yeah.
make sure we buy it through the
Um,
GamerTime affiliate link.
on. Yes,
So a certain amount gets put back into the website.
that would be lovely. I've sent that to like everyone I
I'm
know.
planning on spending about 800 quid. So if we get what 5% of that,
Yeah, get between like 3 and 10, I think. So depending on what it is.
that'd be nice.
So that'd be good. Segueing slightly from RTSs, I've been playing Cities Skylines again recently, which is like SimCity, basically, is the best way of describing it.
But better.
Yeah, I think it. Well, I didn't play the new SimCity, and I haven't played one for ages, but I've been really enjoying Cities Skylines anyway. It's just like a really,
Yeah, I've got Cities Skylines XL as well.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
it's really
put it on
relaxing.
a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's one of those games you can kind of. I mean, at the start of it, to get it started up and running, it's kind of like The Sims, and it's like, oh, it's such a mission to get all this done.
Mm.
But once you've kind of got your basics of your city done, you can kind of just click in and play for a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Jump
You've just
out.
got your like get some roads in and get all the districts
And everyone
done.
loves a good builder.
Yeah.
And some mods where you can get some tunnels.
It's true.
Yeah.
Love a tunnel.
It's just really nice. Okay, so I'm this is what I did today. This is my morning / afternoon sort of time. I made a city. I called it Nevi Land because I find myself hilarious.
That's fantastic,
It's a
actually.
good name.
Yeah, so it was all going fine. We had like good expansion. We'd gone to the other side of the little island thing across the river. We had a nice industrial zone. We had all the commercial districts and all the living places all separated off and all working nicely. Green energy, renewable things. It's all like blissful. And then I realised that some people are getting quite sick. So I built a couple of hospitals.
A couple.
But the problem was, I didn't have the cash flow to build enough hospitals quick enough. So what started to happen was people started to get sick. And as more people got sick, less people could go to work in the shops and the industrial zones. So they all started to
Complete
close
economic
down.
meltdown.
Yeah, they all started to close down. And with those closing down, I started to get minus money and further away from being able to open more hospitals. it just got worse from there. So I had a cemetery, and the cemetery got full, and I didn't have anywhere I could take dead bodies to. So
you
I
burnt
just
them.
kept having.
Are they like piling up and making more people sick?
Well, I just had this monument square where people just need to go there to die. It was just like in the past week, 7 dead bodies, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It was all fine, and until suddenly I had like an illness just streak across my nice city.
I feel like that's the perfect time for them to put in the zombies mod.
Yeah, it is.
It's the exact scenario in which you can go, oh wait, this looks like the start of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Not enough cemeteries, people dying in the square.
Yeah. Well, it started off small, and I was like, I've probably got enough, to wait until I get the next influx of cash when I've got enough population. So I tried to get more people in, thinking that'll solve it. I'll just get loads of people in, and I'll get some money. I'll build some more stuff. That was a bad plan. All that happened was new people came in,
and
became immediately sick. Immediately sick, and then there was nowhere for them to go. What happened was we had dead bodies in the park, we had dead bodies in the houses, we had the cemetery was full. So I took out a loan, which was like, I needed to take out a loan to try and deal with this. The problem was, even after doing that, because I had so many built up, it just wasn't going anywhere. So we had roads that were just jam packed with ambulances. I couldn't get past into these buildings, and it was awful. We had like build ups of cars. We had the fire station having to go and deal with stuff. And then I had a stroke of, I'm not going to call it genius because it wasn't, but at the time I thought, this will work. I had lots of dead bodies, and they were making the people next to them ill. So I'm not proud of what I did, but I demolished the buildings. And there were still people in there.
Bring the city down around them.
Yeah, so I just
Just
demolished the buildings. But it went from there to me going, I could just demolish the building with all the sick people in as well.
You mass murder it.
Yeah, so after I'd done that, I realised that my city was massive and had about 200 people living in it, when originally it had nearly 10,000.
You killed 9,000
So it was just
people, Nevi.
hemorrhaging money. And after I'd done it, I was like, oh my god, I've just killed like 9,000 people to try and
That could be
solve.
the single biggest act of terrorism this world's ever seen.
Yeah, I tried to solve the healthcare problem by killing everybody and just
collateral damage, mate.
and then
That's all
just
it is.
cementing
collateral
over
damage.
them.
It was
Oh,
it
God.
was a
The
stroke of
NHS
genius,
is
though.
hard, man. Right?
Arms sticking out of the paths and roads.
Yeah, the NHS is
Oh,
hard.
we don't need to put any bushes down there. We've got a few arms.
Yeah.
Arms can just decorate the pavement.
So then, yeah, and then they foreclosed my city because I was in minus 100 grand, and yeah, that was my
Oh,
time.
speaking of cities, sorry, this is a completely off tangent.
That's fine.
But did you see that they put a giant dome around a city in Chernobyl?
No.
I hadn't.
So imagine Simpsons movie,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
but in real life.
What?
Gosh, is that because
I
of
think
the
there's a certain
radiation
place in
leaking out?
Chernobyl that is so like dangerous to even walk in.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just put a big steel dome around it.
That sounds
Fair
like
enough.
a great plan.
It's like, how can we fix this radiation? Let's just put it over a dome.
This sounds a lot like Nevi's plan with the hospitals.
Yeah. This is like, I choose number 3.
Well, in my defence as a mass murderer,
You
I
have no
tried to
defense.
help.
Yeah, I can't help but think if there was a steel dome option, you might have been alright.
Yeah.
Just
but
constrict
it
them in
just-
a steel dome.
Oh gosh, it's just startling how quickly you can go from happy mayor to
Hated.
genocide.
And everyone wonders why the world's going to shit.
Yeah, I don't want to be a president or a prime minister or in charge of
It's one of those-
anything.
it's one of those where you go,
like
thank
that.
God I'm not in power.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, I very quickly went from like green energy and it all being happy time and everyone like just expanding and it all being good to just death and destruction and chaos. It's just, what have I become?
You should
Yeah,
have you should have put a nuclear reactor in there, Nevi. See what have happened.
I could have done, but I was trying to. I had my wind turbines, and I was like, I'm gonna go all green. It's gonna be fine.
Is that a point where you just maze around the wind turbines so they take all the nuclear wind out in a certain direction? So we'll just avoid that kid's school. Put a fan there. Oh, not the hospital. Another fan there. And just slowly funnel the nuclear waste out.
Oh, yeah. So it was horrible. Felt
Sounds
like a
like-
terrible person.
Thank God you're not in power, Nevi.
Yep.
I'll
Vote
say that.
Nevi.
Vote Nevi 2017.
Yeah.
To be fair, you'd still probably do a lot better than the US is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
You've got a
Basically,
choice
just did
between...
exactly what Donald Trump's going to do.
Oh God, I know.
Oh, I haven't got enough money to build a hospital. Oh, I just won't build any hospital.
Just won't build
I'll
any.
put some buildings.
No, he'll build a wall. That'll definitely make things better.
That's what you should have done. You should build a wall.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I've learnt my lesson. Hospitals are like important.
Hospitals are important.
Yeah. Because it got to a point where my capacity for healing people was 1/10 of my population size.
So come to our city where 1 in 10 people survive.
Yeah. Yeah. At one point, it tells you the average age of death was about 45.
Oh shit.
That's not bad.
That's terrible.
You'd expect it to be about 5 though, wouldn't you, in that scenario?
True.
It would,
Because
we progressed.
kids and the elderly get sick first, and if you're not making it to elderly, it's like, probably not going to make it out of infancy either.
No. Anyway, let's talk about something less morbid. Tell me about
Um,
the PlayStation 4 Pro, please.
Okay, so for anyone who's been living under a rock, like Nevi,
Yeah, please.
the PlayStation 4 Pro is the new PlayStation, similar to the Xbox One S, I guess. It's apparently nicer looking version. It has higher specs, pretty much just so you can play 4K games on your non-existent 4K television.
Yeah. And they're all upscaled
So,
as
yeah,
well,
so what
aren't
they've done, they've upgraded the specs. There's a big list of games, fairly decent games as well, that have all been not remastered, upscaled. Well, I don't think it's upscaling.
I thought it was just...
Because upscaling would mean it's already at 1080 and they're making it look like it.
Yeah.
But so they're actually playable in 4K at this fantastic graphic level. And everyone's kind of rushing to it. And I see it on all the forums how no one really knows how resolution works. So you've got all these kids, got my PS4 Pro. My games look better than yours. What's your telly, mate? Oh, it's a 1080p sharp LCD. I was like, yeah, your games aren't going to look any better.
Yeah.
Your TV needs to have the resolution to be able to do the output, you know?
Yeah, it's hilarious to see all those comparison things. And I'm just like, but I'm just still watching them both on the same...
Yeah, so it's really hard to tell the difference.
And...
So, look, GTA 5 on PC versus GTA 5 on PC.
It's, yeah,
The same.
I just... For the very minor differences, to buy an entirely new console and a new TV...
I mean, I'm sure... I bet another part of it is you can't actually see the difference because we also don't have 4K monitors.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So
exactly.
you might see a slight difference on your... I think if you did have a 4K monitor...
Maybe.
I mean, I'll take a look later on mine. Because I do have a 4K monitor.
Oh, look at you. Mine's
Yeah.
not.
Got it at a sale last year and I've just been using... Well, my mate was using it as a telly for a while, so I just haven't used it.
Fair
He's
enough.
gone now, so I'm going to... Well, when I set it up this week, I'll try and have a look.
Is it...
But I've got a feeling that if you've got a better monitor... Well, that's how it works, isn't it? If your monitor can show it,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
probably notice the differences a lot more.
Probably, yeah.
Because it might just look slightly clearer to you guys.
Yeah,
Whereas on
I
a
just
4K
don't
monitor,
think
you
I
should actually see the difference.
actually care, though. I'm like,
Oh, that's the thing. Do you care? I don't.
I really...
I was gagging for the Xbox One S because it's the same kind of thing, but it's not. I don't want it for the better looks. I want it for the faster processor
Yeah.
because
But
there's certain games I play which, sort of zombies, for example, they can only spawn in a certain amount of zombies,
Yeah.
and once they've all spawned in, sometimes you get a bit of gameplay lag.
Right,
Or
okay.
the textures don't load up as fast if you run to an area because the game's already, the processor's running at max.
Hmm.
So the faster processor should eliminate a lot of that. And I think
Fair
the
enough.
PS4 Pro processor is, I think they said over 2.5 times more powerful,
Right.
which theoretically would eliminate any of those kind of like texture loads, and maybe your draw distance might be a little better because it can load up.
Although
Seems like
considering the PS4 was only like released a couple of months ago, though, I mean, not a lot of people are gonna have the money though to sort of buy a new $400 console though, just for that slight like performance edge. But
Yeah, not just that either. It's they're kind of a stepping stone console. These aren't they? The Xbox One was an Xbox One Slim. It was designed to be smaller, and yes, it'll be better because natural progression of technology means they can fit better stuff in it. But their whole point was it's just a better, nice looking console. Whereas the PS4 slightly seems to be focusing a lot more on like tech stuff, and I think it's kind of pointless when we know for a fact both companies have got these super consoles in development.
Yeah, it seems like just a weird stepping point between this and
It's
what's
a mid ground.
coming.
They need to get some more money in. It's kind of like the Xbox knew they needed to do something, so they've done something. And then PS4's kind of gone, oh shit,
Yeah,
we should probably do something as well because we're going to lose out some money. And it's all related around money, isn't it? And then next year, I think the Xbox One, whatever they're calling it, Scorpio or whatever it's going to be called. Probably the Xbox 2, knowing them, because their PR department's shite.
they do the most
Come and get
ridiculous
the
names.
Xbox -1. It's better, but you wouldn't know.
I'm waiting for like Super Turbo Xbox or something, or like Mega Transforming.
I'm going to wait till then to upgrade. I was going to get the Slim because I want a nicer looking one.
I'd probably just get a Switch, to be honest. If I had money lying around to buy the same console again, I'd just wait and get the Nintendo Switch instead. Because I'm like...
Yeah, see, the Switch is interesting, I find, because it's... What was it? It's kind of... It's what Nintendo should have done when the Wii U came out.
It's the like progression from that, I think. If you...
Yeah, and they're finally... Because there was a point where you'd go out... Remember, it'd be GameCube, PS2, and then the Xbox, I guess. But you'd have 3 consoles where you could buy the same game.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then eventually Nintendo kind of tailed off, and now it's Xbox, PS4. And it'd be nice to see Nintendo come back into it a bit more.
Yeah, and I really like the design.
It's obviously superior for certain games anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why
things.
they do so well. It's just they have the edge on like first party releases, like the iconic names.
I mean, it'd be nice to see now they've got all the third party developers in, and like we saw things like what Skyrim's going to be on there. And,
yeah.
I mean, with the Skyrim remastered coming out on all the other consoles, no one's going to buy Skyrim on the Switch, but it's nice to know that it's there and it's possible to
I'm
play
sure people probably still would.
I mean, some people would. Some people who might only have that and not have what I call a AAA console.
Yeah.
Might decide to go that way. But
well, it's just quite because you can
the...
carry it around with you. It's probably the attraction for it.
Being able to. Yeah. Because it did look pretty cool.
I know it did.
My problem is it'll be until we get hands on and how flimsy it's going to feel. Is it going to feel like
I don't know.
clicky handles? Is it going to be a nice?
I've never
janky, kind of clicking really awkwardly, or
maybe.
is it going to be smooth and feel like a proper controller? 'Cause my
I've
problem with the Wii U controller was that it was light as a feather.
Yeah, controller wasn't.
I don't want that from a game controller. You know, I want it, you need to know like you got something in your hand.
Yeah, the PS3 controllers are a bit like that, like super light,
yeah, exactly.
and you're like, what's
unless
going
you got
on?
the DualShock 3 with all the extra fucking vibrators in.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't because they were like.
4. But I've got the Xbox One Elite controller, and I reckon it's 5 times heavier than my regular one.
Yeah, they're well heavy those.
I mean, you know you've got something in your hand, like, and it's made of aluminium, most of it, instead of kind of plastic.
Well, with the
It just feels like you're holding something.
when they did the new 3DS though, that's like really nice. I've got a new 3DS. It's really nicely made, and it's really good to hold and stuff. And it looks similarly styled as the Switch, so I'm imagining it to like have that same sort of feel as the new 3DS.
And there's going to be a function there, isn't there? Where
yeah,
you can
I imagine
integrate
so.
the two because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, it'd be nice to
That's
like actually feel like I want to buy a Nintendo console again. Cause,
See, I kind of wanted to buy a Wii U, but it was only because Pokken came out.
It was
I
so...
played Pokken.
Yeah, I could never justify it for like
and
just.
I never. Well, my ex had the Wii, and we got Pokken when it came out, and I played it for a bit, and I was like, oh, that's not as cool as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because it has that whole Nintendo esports feel about it.
Yeah.
You know, like well, I can't remember the name because I'm not a Nintendo player. Well, it's Super Smash Bros, isn't it?
Yeah.
It had that kind of feel about it, and I thought, had it not had that stupid speed, and it's just slowed it down slightly, it might have been a bit more enjoyable and a lot less button bashing. And I like to hone my craft. I didn't feel I could do that in a game like that because everyone's just hammering buttons and stuff.
Right. I've not actually played it yet.
Where you can be a bit more methodical about it. Although that is similarly button bashing at times.
Yeah, I think if I had bought it, it would have just been the Mario Kart console.
Mario, actually, that was very impressive on the Wii U.
Yeah.
It was nice to be able to play in, and you could actually sit the other side of the room if there's too many of it. And the one person who's got a crap view of the TV can play it on the handheld.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm interested to see like price point and other stuff come out over the next couple of months. So
Yeah, I think the price point of the console is going to be interesting because I'm gonna go. Well, they should probably aim for about the 200 mark over here, which I guess is what, close to $300 US. I'm not sure.
yeah,
What that is.
you see, we normally get shafted
Aussie
in the
dollars.
UK though.
Yeah, we do get shafted because like when I remember the Xboxes came out, it was $429.99 in dollars, and then $429.99 in pounds.
Yeah, you're just like, that's not
Well,
how
hang on.
currency works.
Yeah. That's not even like I could probably buy it at America and import it for less.
Yeah, it's mad.
And especially because they weren't regional locked, it didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, they did that with
All the
the
games.
yeah, when the original DS came out, it was a similar sort of way where you're just like, it's like 60 quid more expensive. Why? It seems ridiculous.
Well, it's like yeah, all I do. Hopefully, no one from Xbox is listening to this, but I've got an American PayPal account set up, so I just switch my console to the American store and buy games 20 quid cheaper like that way.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. I've got an American PlayStation Store account.
Yeah, it just needs to be registered to an American address as far as I'm aware, so I just use my mate's house.
Yeah, I don't. I think you can
mean,
just.
it means I get so much cheaper. And what I used to do, and I don't know why it sticks in my head, from the old Mighty Ducks movie, and they used to they go to Beverly Hills and go shopping.
Yes. Yeah.
And just from that, I know the area code because it's 90210, isn't it?
That is hilarious.
And I know it's Rodeo Drive, so I just make up a Rodeo Drive number, say I'm in Beverly Hills, and then just put 90210, and there we are. I've got an American address. But I can't do that anymore. They've kind of got modern technologies caught up
Yeah.
with the old Mighty Ducks hack, as I like to call it.
I haven't seen that film in ages.
Oh, mate,
I don't, actually, sorry,
such
I've never seen the
good
first one.
trilogy.
I've only ever seen the second film.
They're all great
Oh,
films, so
yeah,
you
the
should
first
watch all of
one's
them.
like 1991, I think. That's an old film now.
Mm. Never seen
1990 something.
Yeah, I think it's 91, 93, and 95 or 6.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I've only
they're all
ever
before
seen the middle
2000,
one.
I think.
Yeah,
But-
agreed. Emilio Estevez in his prime doing kids movies.
Hey, they were great movies, man.
Oh, I still watch them now. Yeah, they're all on Netflix, I think.
Are they really? Oh my god! Right, there we are. I'm
I
sorted.
think, yeah, last time I watched them, I think they were on Netflix. But I've got one of those Amazon Fire Sticks, so I can just watch them whenever I like.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, my
Pretty cool.
PlayStation's plugged into my TV, so I'm
Oh, that's
sorted.
handy.
Yeah, I saw all
Oh,
like.
where else would it be plugged into? Oh, my PlayStation's plugged into my speakers, so I can't watch anything.
No, it was upstairs with my monitor, but it's not anymore.
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. So you meant you didn't have it on a tiny monitor.
Yeah. I just have it in the spare room, but put it in the living room for the moment.
Yeah, I think that's kind of all the coverage the PS4 Pro deserves. Because it's not really anything special, other than it plays a bit better.
Well,
maybe.
because the Xbox, whatever theirs is called, is modular, isn't it? So you can kind of like upgrade it or whatever and take bits out.
That's all rumor for the new one.
Is that the new
not
one?
the new-
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the one that they're thinking. Apparently, I'm not so sure on it, but they want it to be potential to upgrade. So I have a feeling that they might have they might separate the GPU somewhat, and there's going to be a way to, I don't know, to maybe interchange certain things.
Mm.
But there's only so much they can do. I mean, if it's modular, I don't know. I don't think there's a really simple way of like attaching a GPU to your motherboard modularly. Like,
Well,
there's a click in, click out because you got the line of the heat sinks and all that.
Well,
stuff
I
that's gotta work
suppose
properly, isn't it?
it should still. Cause all you're doing when you do it normally is you just clip in that cable or clip it out. You just remove
I
the cable,
guess,
I
yeah.
suppose, and just say this way up.
Yeah,
Like you.
this way up's probably a good shout actually. I mean, I guess it's going to be easy possible, but I have more of a feeling it's going to be a bit more expensive than that.
Probably, yeah. There's probably
So
more
you
to it.
probably have to. They'll have two Mobos probably, one for the operating system and save data, the other one for all processors, and you just slide out a whole Mobo or something.
Yeah, I suppose.
That could be a good system, though.
It'd be a great system. You'd never need, but they're probably, if you think about it, no one's ever going to need to buy a new console, technically.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
So they would just, I say shafted themselves out of money. They just need to upgrade the parts, I guess.
Mm.
But then they'll overprice them to make up for the fact they're not selling a brand new console.
I mean,
Because they still have to make their money, don't they?
speaking on that, you could sort of have like a cloud-based system too, like which is what we already have with saves, and then you have a separate system, obviously, with like the processing and the graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Mm. Yeah, because I was.
It'd be nice. I think it's a cool idea. One that I don't think we'll see for a while, though.
No, probably not.
I
There's
think
probably
they'll
more
just
to
go
it.
more
Of like.
full-on PC specs with it.
Mm.
Make it priced and then just be like, well, it's that price because of look how powerful it is.
Yeah, because I was quite
And then
looking
everyone
forward
will pay
to.
it because they'll be like, Jesus, it's cheaper than a game.
So I was looking forward to like the Steam boxes and stuff, but when they came out and they're all Linux, and I was just really disappointed because.
Yeah, I was devastated at that.
'Cause, like,
I would literally have bought the Steam box just for DayZ
Well, it just seemed.
because my PC doesn't play it very well.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. I was properly ready to get one instead of buying my current one, but I was just like, it runs like none of the things I'd want to play. Really.
I think it kind of defeats the object of the Steam box.
Yeah, I was just like,
Because what's the
they
point in
spent.
having you can play all your games on Steam and then you go, oh wait, no I can't.
Yeah,
Because
I
none of
looked
them
through
are
my
mine is.
library and I was like, actually, very few of these I can play on Steam.
Yeah, I can only play one of mine. I think.
On Linux rather. I probably more than
Yeah,
one.
of mine
but
was only a review copy of a terrible game we got about 2 years ago.
just not a lot of like, because I play a lot of indie games, so not a lot of indie devs develop to include Linux because it's like more
Well, why
time
would you?
that they.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
Yeah. Anyway.
For less reward, I guess, at the end of it.
Well, yeah, there's just not as many. There's not as that many users. I think if the Steam box.
They were boasting like a lot of titles on the Steam box, but the problem is, no one had heard of any of them.
Yeah.
They had a few good ones. There was a few like triple. Well, I say triple A's. A few of the better Steam games up there and stuff, but there wasn't. I don't think there was anything like. I said I wanted DayZ, Team Fortress, stuff like that, and you couldn't play any of that on there.
It's just
So I just
disappointing,
didn't buy
like
it,
the lack of things that you could do on it. It was so
I didn't
disappointing.
get one.
It's just like you
real
spent
one.
years developing this thing, and then for so many people just to go, "Fuck, it's Linux only," and like,
Yeah, what was the point?
I guess it's sort of the old catch-22 of though, is that if you work on like a console or a PC or the Steam box as an example for years and years, the processes and stuff get outdated every time you progress in years. So, like if you put graphics card in it from 6 years ago, you start building it 6 years ago, it's not going to be up to date. I guess it's sort of the old problem though as well with long developments.
yeah, that is the problem with on development, especially on hardware. It's like you've got to make it.
Technology moves so fast with hardware.
Yeah, it's less of
It's
an
like every
issue.
3 months, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's less of an issue if you work on like a game for ages. Like the
Thing
guys
is,
who work.
you need to remember most devs. I say most devs. Most of them are not working on advanced graphics cards that aren't out.
Yeah.
So usually, as long as you buy one, I mean, there's a few times AMD will come out and go, "Oh, I've got this new graphics card. Everyone's using it now," before it comes out. But the majority of the time, their graphics card's probably a year old. So as long as you've got one that's not too, doesn't have to be too far behind. Well, sorry, yeah, that's it. Doesn't have to be too long before it's come out, and you'll still be alright for a bit, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like graphics cards just come out so often, and they're always so expensive. It's like, who buys these for like £700? Why? Nothing runs on them, and if it does, you've got. There's no point. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I agree. I don't get it either. I thought maybe we were just old, but no, I don't think many people get it.
No, it's weird. I mean, like new developments are good, but like, there's not. It's weird developing graphics cards for things that
Don't
you
even
can't
exist.
actually buy to run on them.
Yeah.
That is
It seems
weird.
like-
Especially they get so expensive after a while as well.
They do.
It's hard work to maintain a proper gaming PC.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, mine's gone. I'm
mine's
getting a new one soon.
sort of
one day.
works all right for like stuff. I never play anything that's like requires it to be like really sharp on the ball, but like most stuff I play on my PC is indie or turn-based or a strategy game that's like quite low.
Quite low
low.
graphics anyway.
Yeah. So I've not come up with anything that's like just it can't physically run.
Although,
I've had a couple of things that have gone like, yeah, we're just not compatible, and I've gone, well, that's shit. But
Although
nothing
to
that's
be-
gone like,
although to be fair, even with like turn-based strategies, though, I mean, there's still like a high requirement for graphics cards. I mean, XCOM 2, I bought that, I think at release, and it was like pretty good performance-wise, but I mean, it still had issues, and obviously Total War as well requires 720 graphics card or whatever. So if you're running too far behind, you won't be able to run it either. I guess is the thing.
yeah, I suppose. I always my graphics are like literally the very bottom of like my requirements when playing a game. So I'll play a shit-looking game if it's good, quite happily. They don't mean as much to me as they do to some other people who are like, it's got amazing graphics. I'm like, yeah, but is it actually fun to play?
It's a good point.
That's it. Yeah, it's one of those graphics is secondary. Graphics isn't the be all and end all of a game. Everyone kind of raves in it, but if the game plays terribly, no one cares about the graphics at the end of the day.
No.
Yeah.
So look at Destiny when that came out. It was praised so well because it looked phenomenal, and it still scored fairly high because of how good it looked on a console. But then there was no story at all, so everyone was like, "Well,
Yeah,
fuck you."
there was
See,
a
I
shit
will
story there.
I will stand by Destiny. I still think it was fine from release. The
There's
story
no
was
story
batshit,
there,
but I think it was
Yeah,
still fun.
Their problem was there wasn't enough lore, and you need good lore to make a game, and they didn't tell you any.
They did.
Or if you did
Yeah.
get it, you had to get it through the mobile app, and that's a really shitty way to find out.
It is a bit like I feel like they tried to sort of do like the Dark Souls like mysterious background
Yeah.
thing a bit too much. Of like, you're in this place, you don't really
Yeah,
know
I
what's
don't think there
going
was
on.
a lot. I just think the story didn't make a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, the story didn't make a lot of sense,
Parts
but
of it,
a lot.
certain parts of it, they needed to elaborate on and chose not to.
Well, yeah,
whatever
that's
reason.
true. Yeah, it took them
And
a
it kinda- It
while.
ruined the story experience.
Yeah, it took them a while before you kind of got like,
Yeah, they're right. It's
what's
still one of the best
going
games
on?
out there. I still play a lot of Destiny.
yeah, and it's
With it being a first-person shooter, I can't get my hands off it really.
it's the only one in like the past like 10 years that I've played for more than about 10 hours, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good going.
Yeah, it's pretty good going.
Right, should we move on anyway?
Yeah. Do you guys want to play the dungeon? You have any
The
dungeon
dungeon.
ideas?
You gotta get
on
it
the
right,
brain?
Nevi. It's gotta be the
Sorry.
dungeon.
The dungeon. Is that better?
Hey, that was good. That was good.
That was good. Yeah.
So yeah, you just want to play the dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go. So, for anyone who doesn't know what the dungeon is, I guess it's that one place we get to throw something, or Nevi gets to throw something.
Yeah, I got all the
that
powers.
None of us, some of us or all of us, absolutely hate. So me and Harrison will compete with Nevi, for Nevi. So he gets to pick something, and then we'll just never speak about it ever again.
Yeah, they're gonna produce like an apple-like crop of terrible gamingness, and I get to pick it and then throw it somewhere and bury it in a
Yeah,
ditch.
it can go onto our banned list, and it's just things we will just never ever discuss ever again.
Yes,
Which I think is good.
it is. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think I've got a winner
Oh,
already.
all right.
No pressure, Harrison.
Yep.
So the word next gen, or words, or the hyphenated
Are you,
2 words, whatever. Just the term next gen.
just to clarify, you're not talking about the person called Jennifer next to you in the queue.
No, not the next gen.
Not Jennifer.
The next generation,
I'm
and
with
not
you.
Star Trek either.
I was just being facetious.
I had to get there.
Star
'cause
Trek.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Go on,
but no,
continue.
just the term itself. We're still at the point where everyone's like, "Oh, these we've got games for these next gen consoles." It's like, well, they're not next gen anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
They're 3 years old. They're fucking current gen.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is my favourite part of the show because I can finally rant. Because it's like the most frustrating thing on the planet. How can something be the next generation of gaming if it is the current and the previous 3 years worth of gaming?
That is true. I think I always
And it should
refer
be at
to
the
it
point
as...
now where we're talking, because we still say current gen and next gen as if we're talking PS3 and PS4. Whereas what we should be doing is current gen is PS4, and then next gen will be whatever the fuck comes out next.
Yeah, I think it's hard
And we
because
still don't even know.
games are still like developed and released on both generations at the moment still. So you get stuff that's released across several things. Because whereas there's not been like that proper separation of like, we're not
No, there's
making
not.
stuff for
Especially,
this.
but then obviously games are dying down slowly on releasing on the older consoles.
Yeah, they are. It's sort of fading
And they've
out,
stopped
but
production
it's
of the
taken a
older
long
consoles.
time.
So I just feel it should now be previous gen and current gen.
Oh, it definitely should be, yeah.
And just the whole, and yeah, it's not just the people saying it. It's the whole premise around it. It's never the next generation of gaming, because the minute you release it, it becomes the current generation of gaming.
Yeah,
And it'll still be advertised, and it's just one of those little things that just really grates on me. It really gets my goat.
it's such a marketing term, isn't it? You can just imagine it,
It
in
is,
like
yeah.
an over
You
voice,
can
like
see it everywhere.
the next generation of gaming, brought to you
Which
by.
is fine for pre-orders.
Yeah,
The minute you hit release day, it's the brand new current gen of gaming. Would be fine. Would be fine. I know it doesn't sound as good, but again,
yeah.
you kind of have to define what is the next generation.
You can
It's just the next in the fucking sequence, isn't it? It's not like some next superb experience, as they proved when they released the next gen consoles. It was which is kind of, we preferred the old gen for a good year when them consoles came out.
Yep. Old gen was.
Yeah.
The next generation should be reserved for special things.
Yeah.
So if the Xbox releases a console that has the power of a high-level gaming PC at an affordable price, that is next generation gaming right there. Not an expensive console. That's only a little bit better.
Yeah, it doesn't quite sound as good though.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm sure some other PR geniuses could come up with a better term.
Yeah. It's the whole like generation thing. It just sounds like it's a weird
It makes
term.
gaming sound really old. The gaming is kind of it's young in
Young,
comparison
yeah.
to every other creative art, isn't it?
Yeah, very young.
It's still the next generation. We're still in the first generation of gaming, if anything.
Well, yeah,
We're still playing them using controllers on a screen.
I think that you can kind of go. First gen was 2D, second gen is 3D, third gen is VR. That's
Yep.
You
that's
can
probably the best, like the most way of this. Like,
but all of them are still played with until I can play with my fucking mind. which
I will not be
console
happy.
You can which there is a Nintendo console you can do that on. Like a concept development. I think you can do up, down, left, right, and jump.
oh yes, I think I heard of that.
And you can think them, and then it'll do it. So you can play Mario on it, I guess.
Yeah,
Which would be pretty cool.
I wouldn't say.
But then what happens when you start thinking about stuff? Kind of like thinking. Okay, so left. Oh, I'm fucking starving. What should I eat?
Biscuits. Oh,
And then Mario comes up and he's got some cheese on toast or something.
Can you imagine Mario with cheese on toast?
No.
One of the guys I work with is Italian and loves his cheese on toast. And he has a mustache, so the only difference is he's not a plumber.
I haven't seen. What does Mario eat? I've never seen him eat.
Mushrooms.
Apart from mushrooms, but
Magic mushrooms.
yeah, but what, I just thought
He's
then
just
I've never
constantly
seen him
off
eat
his
anything
tits.
ever. I've even remember watching the cartoon. I'm like,
Oh
I've
yeah,
never
they've
seen
got
him
to
eat.
eat something in the yeah, because most kind of cult gaming / cartoon characters have a food, don't they?
something.
Sonic loves chili dogs.
Yeah.
I feel like Mario loves a pepperoni pizza.
I just don't.
Slightly
I just.
racist, I know, but
Yeah.
should have something.
Rock my world.
Hey Luigi, fetch the lasagna. But then Garfield's got lasagna, so they can't even
Yeah,
take
they
that.
can't have that.
You can't have that.
He's a
man.
cat from New York.
Garfield's just like stamped his trademark on lasagna. No other animated / cartoon thing can have this.
But so that's where I am. I think the word next gen should never be spoken until it really needs to be.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Cool.
Go on then, Harrison. You
I
got
gotta-
something?
Yeah.
Oh, clearing his
Yeah,
throat.
I
This is
gotta-
going to be a good
It's
one.
gonna be a good one. When you get this off my chest for a while, but there's one thing, right, that needs to be gotten rid of, and I'm very surprised it hasn't been destroyed yet. Origin. It is a piece of crap that doesn't work, and no one really likes.
Wait. You mean like EA Origin?
Origin
Yeah, that's
EA.
fair.
Oh,
EA would
Yeah, I can
EA
completely get where you're coming from.
EA
Yeah.
rated, I think it was twice in a row or something of shitty companies. Origin, once again, doesn't work, right? The other day I was trying to get it to work. Tried every setting, compatibility online, wouldn't work for like 2 weeks until I, got it fixed. But honestly, like, compared to Steam, it is a lot more difficult to download everything. It doesn't have a very good offline mode either. And it's just inferior to Steam, so I don't know why we haven't changed to it yet. But Origin needs to be destroyed in some way or form.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like EA that are trying to like carve out like a piece of the PC gaming market, but then they only have their own games on there, don't they?
Yeah, it's only there, but they did release The Sims for free, like all the Sims 2
Did they?
expansions and
Oh.
stuff.
It's-
But Origin, it's the same kind of what's the Ubisoft one?
Uplay. Oh my god, don't
So
even
it's
start with that.
their
Fucking
it's their
Uplay.
multi-tool for logging in various formats, isn't
It's
it?
horrible.
So,
Absolutely
like,
horrible.
It's really annoying because I've got the FIFA Ultimate Team app on my phone,
Mm.
and I have to log into Origin, and then I have to log into the app using my Xbox credentials. It's like, surely you only need my Xbox credentials. You don't need like my Origin ID. But I suppose it's to stop the username double ups, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like them trying to do DRM stuff, but like
Yeah.
I think we're kind of past that at this stage.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, think
I don't
we're
feel like it's
fucking what?
like a problem
Screw your
anymore.
DRM.
Yeah,
And everyone's scared of it.
because I downloaded Heroes of Might and Magic again recently to play, and then Uplay came up. Tried for about 20 minutes to get it to work. It crashed twice, and then I uninstalled Heroes of Might and Magic.
It's not worth the
decided,
time or the
fuck
effort.
that shit.
Screw that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Origin's that really annoying one as well. You turn off turn the setting off to stop it auto loading when you turn on your PC, and it just fucking ignores it.
Does it? So
you load your PC up, and it's like, Origin is updating. It's like, I do not give a fuck. You're not even supposed to be open, mate. I told you, do not open unless I click you. And then what do? Oh, I need to update. I just thought I'd tell you. And then stop my PC letting me do anything for about 10 minutes. I'm with you on that, Harrison, man. Fuck Origin.
I mean, what pisses me off is like when it gets stuck. I don't know if you've had this problem, but it's like gets stuck in this like constant updating loop where there's actually no way to get through it. And the only I was doing the other day, I was on Origin, right? Wanted to reset my password, I think it was. The link to reset my password wouldn't work at all. I'm double clicking the icon, right? And nothing is happening. It's just utterly a failure, and I think I spent like 6 hours or 7 hours trying to get it to work, and it still didn't work.
Oh, dear.
I was like, why the fuck don't we have one system, right? Like one universal like login system, like where everything is on a central database, and we can just log in with one password and one username, you know? Just be so much simpler.
That's just Steam. Pretty much, doesn't it? Like, why is that? Who's even trying to compete with Steam? I mean, what is the point?
Well, there is no point.
It's like,
but then, if the point was to not compete with Steam, you wouldn't get better products.
Well, not really.
Competition breeds like betterness.
Okay, yeah, but competition in this case is bred Origin.
Yeah. The competition at this point is it's a race between a Rover Metro and a Pagani Zonda.
Yeah. But yeah, it just feels a bit petty, doesn't it, from EA? They're like, we're not going to put our games on Steam. We're going to have our own service and make it subpar and make you suffer through it.
Well. There's like, I mean, the one thing for EA, like EA Access, I think is fucking phenomenal.
I haven't.
You pay $22.99 a year, and you get access to. Currently, it's like 15 games, I think.
Yeah.
And it's games like FIFA's just been put on there. No, sorry, in I think April they put FIFA on there, and it's a game. FIFA is still worth £45.
Yeah.
At that point in the year, and then like Battlefield, you can get premium at half price through EA Access. You can get, I think, I bought Battlefield and premium. If I bought it in the store, like second-hand copy of the game plus premium, it would have been like £54. But I paid $22.99 for EA Access, and that was everything.
See, yeah, I suppose.
I mean, that's a deal.
That is pretty good.
And they do previews of games, so you get free trial of any EA game. And bear in mind, they're kind of racking up these games as a developer. You know?
Yeah, they're a big
Obviously,
publisher.
They've got their sports brand, but now it's kind of as a publisher, not developer. Sorry, but then like they've got Titanfall 2.
Yeah,
they've got Battlefield. That's 2/3 of the shooter market.
Yeah, no, they're
if you say the top 3 are Titanfall, Battlefield, and COD.
Yeah.
Oh wait, don't they own Activision? Well, they have hands in like so many pies. It's kind of just.
Yeah, no, they are big.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. I'm not questioning their size. I'm just.
Oh yeah, not questioning obviously the size of the company, but I think that's a tool that works really well in comparison to where Origin is just kind of fucking pointless.
Yeah, it feels a bit like it's kind of been forgotten about, and like they just don't seem to care about like people having to put up with using it. Feels a bit shit, to be honest.
I mean, sorry to interrupt, Nevi. I heard something as well, right, the other day that's even shitter about Origin than what it is currently, right? So I heard the other day that let's say you like don't play a game, like, or install it, I think for 3 years, they actually have the right to take away your game like completely, so you don't even own it anymore if you don't play it like any time during like in a 3-year period. So it's like you don't even own your product anymore. It's a shitty service, and every time people use it, they roll their eyes, like you know they do.
That is terrible as well. Thank goodness that Steam doesn't do that. I didn't have a computer for nearly 5 years, so I'd have had nothing in my Steam library when I came back otherwise. That would have been tragic. But yeah, that's rubbish. Can't believe it does that.
Yeah, fuck that. Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's just on Origin. If you don't play your game for 3 years, they can take it off you.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's fucking bollocks.
I know. It's under like terms and conditions because there was a article.
Yeah, it's in that fine print that no one ever reads.
hidden
Yeah,
away
that shit.
amongst like 7 pages of T&Cs.
Yeah, it's like page 98 of their 745 dossier on the terms and conditions.
Mm. Yeah, I suppose EA Access is good, so that's a good thing. Because I quite
EA
like,
Access is very good.
I like GOG. I think GOG do a good service. They have like the old games, and they're doing more new stuff now. But like their whole thing is really cool. They're the same guys who make
I do also think,
Witcher
what's the
and stuff like
PlayStation
that,
1?
so-
PlayStation
Yeah,
Now.
sorry.
Is it PlayStation Now the Netflix of games?
Yeah, it has some
I think
good stuff on
that's
it.
pretty cool.
I've used it a couple of times for like a one-off month if something's come on it that I want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I went through like Resistance, and it has all the Dead or Alives on there, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
All the old PlayStation exclusives. So like, what's the one with the guy who has electric hands?
Mm.
Oh,
This might be
It's like the
Infamous.
worst description ever, but
Is it Infamous?
Infamous. Yeah,
that's
the one.
it. Yes. I
That was
think
a
it
good game.
Electric
that was.
hands.
You were there. You knew what you
Yeah.
meant.
I got it. A good enough description.
Electric hands.
Yeah, that was a very good game. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, because I've got the PS4 one sitting in my library. Keep me to play.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
so-
Infamous
was that
Second Son. I think that's.
Second Son. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, in my somewhere.
See, that's the only reason I want a PS4 is for those exclusives.
Yeah,
Like,
Ratchet
if they
and
bring
Clank.
out a
Man.
new Resistance, like Resistance 4, I'm going straight to the shop and getting one.
Oh, Ratchet and Clank, man. So good.
See, I've never really got into it. More of a
Ah.
Spyro the Dragon man.
Oh, well, I've got the Spyro collection on my PSP, the original 3. I'm gonna play those. some
Yeah, I've
point.
got them. I've got them on my PlayStation. Still
Yeah.
got my old PlayStation 1 and 2. So.
You see, I've cleared out lots of stuff, so to try and make space. I've had this conversation about trying to scale down my stuff, the amount of hoarding I do. Anyway,
Sell it all.
before we just sort of spiral off into stuff that you probably don't care about, we'll just end the podcast. I think we've sort of come to a
You need
natural
to put something in
conclusion.
the dungeon, Nevi.
I have to pick. I have to choose one of them. Oh man, see, this is a tough one because Origin is clearly really shit, but I'm utterly sick of like people going the next gen, which is just factually inaccurate. I can't do with factual inaccuracy, so I'm gonna have to go with Mike. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Good
with
job,
the,
Mike.
the next gen.
So this is going to be really hard, though. We're not going to be allowed to use the words next gen on the podcast
Damn.
ever.
Don't worry, we can use Origin instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Just substitute it.
This new origin of consoles. That kind of works.
Not really, but
No. You can also, if it's that hard, you can always throw both of them in there. Because I'd quite happily never talk about Origin ever again.
either of them. Make a special exemption. Stick them both in. Mush them
Yeah,
together.
fuck it. Let's do it. Both of them are in.
All right, fair enough. It's a really tough call, so yeah, I hate them both fairly equally. We'll go with both. Go on then. Stick them both in.
And we'll get a list up.
Yeah.
We'll
At
get a
some
list-
point,
we'll,
yes,
Yeah, we'll get a
we'll
list
have a
going, and then at some point, the podcast can just be white noise because we've run out of things.
the letter U. We're all like trying to change all
Today's
our
letter is... Oh, shit. 3.
Today's letter is E. You can no longer say that word.
Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry, yeah, my bad. Not is... we banned off the letters of the alphabet. The letter A. What even is it? Bastards.
I thought you were going to say something profound afterwards there.
No,
What
no,
even
no.
is it? It's like...
No, it was more of a ranty statement than a... What is A?
I thought you were going to get all philosophical on this.
Yeah, I'm not...
Drop
Not a
some...
famous
philosophical
mathematician.
type.
some... What?
I'm not... Who's that famous Greek math guy?
Which one? There are many famous Greeks.
Yeah, one of them. Anyone.
Take
Pick one.
Tocrates or something.
They're all some at Elise, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mistopheles, Isosceles.
Isosceles, that's
All right,
it.
it's none of
Hercules.
those. Let's just stop and...
Yeah, let's go.
I know where this is
Everyone
going.
just gets fucking bored.
Right, thank you for listening to the GamerTime podcast. If you've stumbled across this without the website attached, you can find us at gamertime.co.uk, or you can follow us at GamerTimeUK. And I'm so proud of myself for saying the Twitter right.
Yeah, it's about time.
It's taken me
You
2
can
goes,
follow us
isn't
on Twitter at facebook.com/fuck.
Yeah, well, you can follow me personally at NevadaHM on Twitter, and you guys are...
I am at Mike D_89.
Yeah, I'm working on a Twitter account. I'm a bit slow on that, but I'm
I'm just a bit slow on Twitter.
but I'm on the website of GamerTime as one of the editors there. So just my name, Harrison Ware, and there'll be links to all my articles in there. So
Cool. Well, we'll get you on again, Harrison, when you've got your Twitter or whatever.
Yeah,
We'll
when you've
find
got
you.
your Twitter account.
Yeah,
Will do.
no worries. All right, thanks
Harrison
again.
living in the past.
Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.